What? Other than that, any questions for me? I know it's been like 20 episodes since we've done this.
What games have you been playing recently?
Ironically, I played Titanfall 2 last night, and then I played a
Oh,
Stanley Parable the other day because it was on PlayStation Plus for free, and I was like, I'm gonna test it out.
oh, Stanley Parable is so good.
That's what I've heard.
What a fantastic video game.
Yeah, I was like,
Just
ooh,
very
this.
trippy.
Yeah, yeah. I got one of the trophies. It's like you knock on door 420 or something like 430, something like that, like 5 times. But it's not actually just that. You have to go around and walk around and do all these other things just to get the trophy. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, there's some silly trophies in that one.
Yeah, I don't. It's like what? Why? But okay,
One of
that's
them is
funny.
like, don't play the game for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? Let me just go change the date on my PlayStation now. Hello, and welcome to JDUB and Friends. Ironically, episode 39 with two Joshes.
Woo! The
Yay!
Double Josh podcast is here.
Yeah, new podcast.
Let's do it.
New podcast coming next week.
Brand new podcast.
Double Josh all the way across the sky. But yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here again. I know last time it was you, me, and Bill the Fajita doing Banjo Kazooie, and nice cup, or by the way, nice drink.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got my my Nintendo New York branded water bottle. That's the one thing I said I was going to get at Nintendo New York. I was like, I just want a water bottle.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, we went to Universal, my wife and I and the kids, and she's like, the only thing I want is a Harry Potter wand. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. So I ended up getting one. That was the only thing she was like, that's the only thing I want. Just buy me one of those. All right, cool.
I get it. Oh, hey, Paul's in chat. What's up, monkey?
Oh yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Yep. Hi, everybody.
Sorry, my chat is like when I look at chat, I have to look down here because it's on my phone. Because for some reason, the desktop Twitch is not working for me at all.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's but yeah, anybody in chat, this is a live recording. So hi everybody. If you ever want to watch our live recording at JDUB and Friends, it's on Twitch. Yeah, I'm
Check it out. It's a good time.
Yeah, I'm JDUB, Josh, obviously, JoshJepson. But you knew that already.
Hi. I'm here.
So tonight I am going to interview JoshJepson about YouTube and Twitch and a few other things. And but before we get into that, I thought the biggest news that came out this week was GTA 6 getting pushed back another year.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. It's going to be huge. So, let them cook.
Yeah, I'm like, it won't be out this year. And the next thing you know, like 2 days later, like, GTA 6 getting pushed back to 2026. I'm like,
yeah.
Figured.
Yeah, all the all of the developers that moved their launch date away from Grand Theft Auto 6 are like, oh wait, there's this huge hole now that we have to fill.
Yeah,
you're probably gonna see there might be some games that come out like that were scheduled for later in the year coming out earlier and stuff like that. It changes the whole layout of it.
Yeah, it's like, what? Because like I bet you there's games that are like, oh no, we're gonna have to compete with GTA 6, and then it's like, oh, that's nice. Now we just gotta compete with the Switch this year, and that's about it. But we'll see how that goes. Are you gonna? Did you pre-order Switch already?
I did. I pre-ordered the Switch too. Yeah, I'll be able to pick it up at midnight. There's a midnight launch, so I'm gonna be able to pick it up at midnight. And obviously the only thing I'm jumping into immediately is Mario Kart. At least until Donkey Kong drops in July. I don't know what else I would play on it. Yeah. I maybe like Cyberpunk because I haven't ever played that. That looks kind of legit. So I don't know. Yeah, I've got a Switch 2. I'm very excited for it.
I'm glad they called it the Switch 2 this time and not like the Switch U or something like that.
Yeah, they almost called it the Super Switch, the Super Nintendo Switch, which I think would have been cool, but it makes sense to make it as
Yeah.
obvious what it is as possible, given the situation with the Wii U.
Yeah, they don't want to confuse people like the Xbox does. Just go from Xbox 360, and then you think Xbox 720, and it goes back to the Xbox One.
Yeah. Xbox has had the worst naming convention for their stuff.
It's like, all right, are we talking about the original Xbox, or are we talking about Xbox One, or are we talking about Xbox One, which was the original Xbox?
That'll be what they call the next one. The next one will call the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And then you'll be extra confused.
Yeah, exactly. And the PlayStation's just like, yeah, we'll just keep calling ours like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which PS6 apparently the rumor is it's coming out in the next couple years.
Wow, PS6.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think they need that. I don't think they need to do that.
No, PS5,
they can stop. They can slow down.
PS5 is powerful enough right now, and still, I think there's.
I just don't see where they could go with it at this point. You know, like it really hasn't been that long in the grand scheme of things for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They should give it a few more years, I think.
You would think, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Xbox is basically dying now. It's the new Dreamcast, where, I mean, except for the Dreamcast was ahead of its time, and Xbox is just here.
Yeah. They're kind of moving towards being, just on everybody else's platforms.
Yeah.
Especially with their ad campaign where they were like, this is an Xbox and this is an Xbox, and there's just like a phone and a computer and like trying to associate the Xbox brand with everything.
Yep. Yeah, the only thing that was positive is like, oh, we're gonna bring Steam to Xbox. It's like, well, that's kind of cool. And then they never say anything about it after that.
Weird.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, PS5 Sony version of Wii U. That's funny.
It kind of is, though. It sort of feels that way a little bit.
Yeah. Also, anybody knows anybody that works at Mountain Dew, I am willing to get sponsored by them. I love Mountain Dew.
Let's get you that Mountain Dew sponsorship.
It'd be great.
Let's get you it.
Be all set. But
excuse me, Mr. Dew, please email JDUB.
I just need just one sponsorship. That'd be the only one I want for the rest of my life. But I told Josh that we're gonna do instead of five questions I usually do to get to know my guest, we're doing a tier list tonight of one of his favorite games and one of I guess one of the best N64 platformers at that time. Probably on the console. Maybe Glover's a little bit better than it, but
not a chance. I love Glover, but ooh, what a weird game.
It was. Now I have a question for you before we get into
when's the Glover tier list?
Right. I actually looked for that earlier, and I was like, they didn't really have a good one. I'm like, oh, that's sad. But my question for you before we get in the tier list: which hand is better, the hamburger helper glove or Glover?
Glover has magic powers. Does the hamburger helper guy have magic powers?
I think he just has eyes and
he has the power of pasta.
Yeah.
At his disposal.
Yeah.
Glover probably wins. Like if in a fight, Glover wins.
Yeah.
In a cooking competition?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, the hamburger helper takes it all the way home.
So, people have guessed it already in chat. It is a Banjo-Kazooie. I forgot to do one thing. I am a professional podcaster. Let me go ahead. Looky there, I figured it out. I'm a professional podcaster.
It's the Banjo-Kazooie Worlds tier list.
Yeah, and there's only 9 of them, which I've never guessed.
I have a lot to say about each one.
All right. Where would you like to start? You want to start at the left side? You want to start?
Yeah, let's just start at the left side with Bubblegoob Swamp. Bubblegoob Swamp is one of those ones that, like, so my opinion of it has evolved over the years, because I used to hate it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I've grown to love it over the years because of its, like, it's just a very unique setting. Being in a swamp, and it's got like sort of this indoor outdoor feel to it. It sort of feels like it's indoors, but it's outside technically, I guess. But it's kind of all boxed in. So it's a very weird one. But I think it's a good baseline.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
let's put that at B.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's up to you. It's
Yeah.
your tier list.
Cool.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No. Okay. So. Oh man. Clanker's Cavern, huh?
Make this a little bigger. Sweet C. There you go. Yeah.
Clanker's Cavern. Yeah. So Clanker's Cavern, it's right up there with Bubble Goop Swamp, where like it's one of those levels that I absolutely dreaded as a kid. There's that part where you have to like write down basically at the beginning where you have to swim all the way down and free Clanker from his clutches, like the lock that you have to swim through over and over again. So you're like at risk of drowning. And as a 6-year-old kid playing this for the first time, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Even if you have like plenty of time to do it and there's the bubbles down there or whatever, you don't know. Mm-hmm. You get down there in the dark, scary depths of the sea. Yeah, that's just terrifying.
Yeah, really weird level. Like trying to swim through that gate thing was annoying. Trying to let Clanker loose.
Yeah, and it's one of the grittier levels, like more industrial in design, and I always liked the more natural levels like Click Clock Wood or Treasure Trove Cove or whatever. That's something that's a little more natural. But I have grown an appreciation for Clanker's Cavern as time has gone on. I think it's pretty hard for an early game level. I think that's a big problem with it. Yeah. I want to put it at C. C for Clanker.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, that level was so, I don't know. Was probably my least favorite of the levels in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, it's down there.
Yeah.
Click Clock Wood is Click Clock Wood is my S tier.
Okay.
For sure. Mm-mm. I think that sets a precedent, but it also shows like where my interests lie personally. Yeah. Like I said, I like the more natural feeling levels. And Click Clock Wood, especially when I was a kid, playing the game for the first time, I remember being like really wowed by Click Clock Wood, because the painting to unlock it is so early in the game that you see it's like a mostly empty painting that you have to fill with the jiggies, right? Yep. And at the very bottom, it will tell you the name of the level on the bottom of the picture. And I remember seeing Click Clock Wood like super, super early on in the game. It's like right near the beginning of Grunty's Lair. And it just like, it had me wondering the entire game what Click Clock Wood was like, because it sounds so cool. Yeah. And the concept itself, with the 4 seasons and like you getting different things, depending on which season you're entering, is very, very unique. So yeah, it's S tier. It's a very cool level. Some people struggle with falling from the tree. Yeah. That's the big problem with that one.
I felt like Click Clock Wood did what Super Mario 64 was trying to do with their clock level, where you jumped in at different times.
Yeah.
It just did a lot better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Ooh, Freezy Peak.
Yeah, Freeze Easy Peak is one of the best levels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the best levels. I want to put it up there in A tier, honestly, personally. Yeah. It's got one of the most memorable themes in the game. Mm-hmm. The giant snowman is such a unique feature. And being able to climb up him in various ways. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Some of the best move unlocks of the game, that's where you get like the beak bomb and some other cool things. Those are always very exciting when you're a first time player to like get something that makes you zoom fast. Yeah, all around great level. Fantastic level. Some
And
of the
ice
some fun characters and stuff in there too, like the walrus and all that.
and ice level actually doesn't make you feel like you hate being there.
Yeah, right.
Like there's some ice
And
levels
on
like,
the
oh,
other side of the spectrum, maybe I'm alone in this. I am not a huge fan of Gobi's Valley. I think it's got some neat ideas,
mhm.
and like a lot of the, there's like a bunch of like sort of puzzles inside of each of the pyramids, which is nice. But it's lower on the list for me, I think,
Okay.
in comparison to some of the other ones. I would at least put it in B tier.
Okay.
I would put it in B tier. Um, which is honestly not too bad. It's like kind of the middle of the road for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I feel like they did that. I feel like that was done that kind of idea was done better in 64 in Mario 64 than it was in Banjo. It kind of just felt like they threw it together at that point. My opinion anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Excuse me. Ooh, Mad Monster Mansion. How about that one?
Mad Monster Mansion is another really cool one. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me not to put them all at S tier. I'll be real with you. It's hard for me to not put all of them at S tier, but if I'm really thinking about it objectively and comparing them, Mad Monster Mansion is pretty high up there. It feels like an A tier. It's got a lot of challenge. I think that's one of the things that like this level and also like Rusty Bucket Bay brings to the game. There's a lot of challenge,
Mhm.
and I do like the challenging levels for their challenge. Although Clanker I did put pretty low.
Yeah.
I knocked points for challenge, but that's because it's so early on in the game. Whereas something like Mad Monster Mansion and Rusty Bucket Bay, they are later game levels. So by then, I would expect there to be some extra challenge. Yeah, and there's some fun things in Mad Monster Mansion. Some really cool themes. You can't go wrong with a spooky house.
No. Yeah, I always like those spookier. I mean, they did a lot, which is weird. They did a lot of spooky like houses back in like the N64 era.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they did. It was a common for platformers.
yeah, it's like, huh? Where can we do? Oh, let's have a ghost house. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
All right. Mumbo's Mountain. Mumbo's Mountain is a classic.
mhm,
So it gets some points for that. But overall, it does feel like the tutorial level. It does
yeah,
feel like this is to train you how to collect things and how to, explore and like what you need to find and all that. It does feel like that,
okay,
as well as getting like some of your basic moves.
mhm,
Um, and for that, as much as I love Mumbo's Mountain, I am going to put it at D tier. I think it's D tier.
okay,
Because I like thematically, I like all of the other levels in the game better.
mhm,
And Mumbo's Mountain is just a little bit boring
yeah,
on purpose.
yeah. I agree completely on that one. Yeah. Ooh, Rusty Bucket Bay.
Yeah, this is a divisive one.
Mhm. Kind of looks like
This is a
a
divisive one.
kind of looks like a Team Fortress map
Mm.
with the way it
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
with that picture.
Yeah, this is a divisive one because again, this has one of the worst rooms in the game. Again, I think a lot of people go into this game knowing that they're going to hit Rusty Bucket Bay eventually,
Yeah.
and I never thought it was all that bad. But they do have the added challenge of all of the water in the place will drain your air even if you're above water. So you don't want to fall. You don't want to fall off the ship. It really is kind of a challenge to get back before you die. Yeah, I don't know. I think Rusty Bucket Bay is such a divisive one that it's got to go kind of somewhere in the middle. I think. Yeah, right up there in B
Okay.
with Bubblegum Swamping Gobi's Valley. I really feel like it's kind of on that
Level.
trajectory.
I understand that. Yeah, I know a lot of people be like, "Oh man, Freeze Easy Peak or even Mumbo's Mountain." But I feel like Treasure Trove Cove is the most like when you think of Banjo Kazooie, that's the level
Yeah,
you think of.
Yeah, I totally agree. Treasure Trove Cove is my favorite level in the game.
Yeah.
So it's got to go up in S tier with Click Lockwood. Those two levels are pretty well equally my favorite areas in the game.
Mm.
Um, I have a soft spot for sort of beachy island
Mm.
levels in games in general. You know, Wind Waker is basically my all-time favorite Zelda, and I just like that atmosphere, you know, the surf and the sand and all that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's got a very memorable theme. This is another one with a very memorable theme,
Mm.
um, and I think it's also a good marker of like what's to come because it, unlike Mumbo's Mountain, which definitely feels like a tutorial area, Treasure Trove Cove feels like the first real world where you know you actually have to go out of your way to find stuff and do certain puzzles, and I like that sort of that bump up in difficulty,
Yeah.
and exploration. It's very good.
They surprise you with a shark that you don't expect all of a sudden, and you're in the water like, what
Yeah,
the? What's
yeah. A
going
lot of
on?
people don't know that you can kill that shark, but you can. It's
Yeah.
hard to do. You can kill him, and then he will be other places. Like you can kill him in one area, but then you'll go to the other side of the island, and he'll be back because each area, like
Hmm.
there's a shark in every area, and he will respawn. Like he's a relenting force.
So yeah, to answer looking at his tier list, I mean, I would agree with this pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Mumbo's I'd probably move up to C. Other than that, just because it's Mumbo, it's mountain, it's kind of iconic at
Yeah,
two, but not
I felt
like
like something had to go at D, and if
yeah,
anything was going to go at D, it would be Mumbo's Mountain for me.
yeah, definitely, I
Just
agree with that.
just a little boring in theme.
Yeah, it's just kind of like yeah, let's learn how to play this game and try it, see what happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
but that was pretty fun. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I can learn. I've done this 39 episodes. I'm figuring stuff out. But
Hell yeah, dude.
speaking of doing 39 episodes, I think you've done way more than 39 episodes in your Let's Play career. Just a thought.
Oh yeah, thousands,
Yeah.
thousands upon thousands. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a long time, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You've done a lot of different LPs over the years, done a lot of Twitch streams. Do you have a personal favorite between the two? Do you like doing more YouTube stuff, or you like doing Twitch streams more where you can talk to people, kind of?
I think my opinion on it has changed a lot over the years because it used to be that I really hated live streaming. Um, and I could just never, every time I did it, I could never get into it, and I struggled with the live element, and I would get to the panic, like if something was going wrong, like I panicked, and I have to fix it in real time and all this, and like with videos, it's like if there's a mistake, no one sees it,
Right.
and you can just fix it. So I like that aspect of YouTube better,
Mm.
but as I've gotten more comfortable with live stuff and fixing problems quickly, and dealing with the crazy technology that comes along with streaming, and everything with OBS and plugins for OBS and capture devices and microphones and cameras and lights.
Yeah.
Getting kind of deeper and deeper into that world, it's made it a lot more fun to plan a show, do it live, and be done with it.
Mm.
Whereas you're trying to figure out with YouTube how to make something that is watchable for a long time, something that's long lasting. I think some people chase the quick viral hits on YouTube, but
Mm.
the real meat of YouTube is that those kind of videos that you'll still be able to watch in 5 or 10 years, and it will be something that people still enjoy. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing to do. I think that Twitch streaming is so much easier, and it comes more naturally to me now. But
Mhm.
I would love to be better at making evergreen content on YouTube. That would be awesome.
Yeah. We'll actually go to your YouTube channel and show a little bit. I mean, yeah. If you don't know who Josh Jepson is, I mean, you've probably been living on the rock for about 10, 15 years now. It's only been a few. Oh man. Let's see. I gotta find you again. Oh, yeah.
Jado's right. Scuff is required on Twitch. That's part of the experience.
Yeah. Let's see. How many play? You have a lot of videos
You
nowadays.
watched my old Twilight Princess Let's Play playlist like 20 times,
Oh
Jado.
man. Yep.
It's so old.
Yeah.
It's so old. There's an episode where I ask people to rate my video 5 stars.
I remember that. Oh man. Yeah, I remember that was a whole spiel. It was like you did it, Josh. Jugga Conroy used to do it where they'd be like 5 stars below the video, please. I
Yeah, yeah.
was like, oh okay.
It was in the sidebar
Yep. Yep.
at
Yep.
one
I
point.
remember that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Zelda, Twilight Princess, Super Mario Sunshine. Nobody's ever heard of that game at all. I don't. Never heard of it. No. Banjo Kazooie, Zelda, Wind Waker, Metroid Fusion, which is an incredible game. If you've never played it,
Wonderful game. I love
oh,
Metroid Fusion.
it's so good, so incredible. Ocarina of
Oops.
Time, which everybody's played. Oh man, Rayman games, so good. They need
Yeah,
up.
that's yeah, the old stuff is a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yep. One of your
Um
first collabs too was near the beginning.
oh, one of my first collab. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Donkey Kong Country
Yep.
Returns
Yep. With
and
Jake.
also the Rayman one, Rayman Origins.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that one too. Yeah, Jake and
Good stuff.
I remember the one thing I always remember from Donkey Kong Country was Lanappa. That got me
Not the
all the time.
Blanabas.
Yeah, got me all the time. I watched that and be like dying of laughter just because I would hear that. I'm like, but yeah. Now when you did something with Super Genius, was that like unexpected, or was it kind of like you both were? I mean, Super Genius was kind of big at the time, and you obviously were making your way up pretty big at that point. Was that kind of something that you guys just talked about doing together, and it just happened, or?
Yeah, we wanted to do something. I well, it was a long time ago. I mean, 2013.
Yeah.
This is like this is a lot. This is 12 years ago. But yeah, no, we met up at PAX a couple of times and we were hanging out a bunch. And then I happened to be kind of living near him at the time. And we were like, well, let's meet up um and just like do something together, do something. And we would meet up and like hang out for a bit and we would just kind of chat about what we wanted to do or play.
Mm.
And yeah, I think Donkey Kong Country Returns was probably just like a really good middle ground for both of our interests. It just worked. It was good.
Yeah, it totally. I mean, it was a great collab. I mean, it was your, like first collaboration. Then all of a sudden, you show up on TRG doing collaboration with them.
Yeah. I was very, very grateful for them at the time for inviting me out to be a guest on their their relatively new channel at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it was just really good timing on everything. I think. There was a lot going on at that time that brought a bunch of us together. Like, there was a while there where there was a lot of separateness amongst, gaming YouTube people. And I feel like I kind of sort of came along at a time when everybody was sort of starting to connect and, meeting up at PAX and all that and getting to know each other a little bit more. So it was very, very cool of them to invite me out to do that. And then, 11 years later, 12 years later, being invited to do it again with the new Mario.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
That was very cool.
Yeah, I was impressed, like, because I started watching you, and all of a sudden you showed up on the TRG because I was watching that too, and all of a sudden like, oh, JoshJepson's on TRG. This is sweet. This is epic. And then just being amazed by that. But now I gotta admit, you have the best username ever, and you got lucky with that.
Did get lucky with it. I did get lucky with my name.
Yeah.
It's very catchy. I don't know. I've always been very very happy with my given human name. Um, and it was never the plan for that to be like the online brand.
Mhm.
The only reason I made my YouTube channel with that name in the first place is just because I was like reserving the name because I ever wanted to use it for anything. But I
Yep.
went under a bunch of other usernames before I settled on just being Josh Jepson on the internet. And really did like a trial and error before I landed on something that was working. Uh, so I've been doing stuff a lot longer than even the Josh Jepson brand.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did when you first started, who were you looking up to at that point? Because I mean, you were at that point. I mean, probably what Nintendo Capri Sun was doing stuff, and you had H.C. Bailey, and that was kind of about it. I mean, Chugga was,
Yeah, I mean,
starting.
my early inspirations were people like um were people like H.C. Bailey you mentioned and Chuck
Mhm.
Conroy, and Nintendo Capri Sun, always big inspirations at the time. Um, but I don't know. I mean, even earlier than that, like I said, I've been making videos long before I even knew any of these people,
Yeah.
and I think they were definitely early inspirations for doing like let's play and gameplay style stuff.
Hmm.
Um, which has obviously grown and evolved beyond anyone's comprehension.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the time, it was sort of like a little niche and
Hmm.
weird, and everybody involved with it was a little weird, and it was a kind of a cool little corner of the internet to get into. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but even before then, like my earliest inspirations are just like my very creative parents who always encouraged me to do creative stuff. So
Shout out Josh's parents.
I appreciate them immensely.
Yeah. Now, Josh grew up in the same time where Dazzle was the capture card way back in the day. Never
Yeah,
gonna
the
get
old
algonquin.
Dazzle.
Yep.
The old Dazzle.
Oh, man.
I had one up until like maybe just like a year or two ago.
Oh, wow.
I had one just like in a box somewhere. No, I don't know if it even worked, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, those old capture devices before it was before it was a mainstream thing for people to do,
Mhm.
where now you can like buy the streamer kit at Best Buy and it's like it comes with a microphone and a light and a whatever and
Yeah.
um now it's just like go out and get this stuff. But at the time, like finding something that would take your gameplay footage and put it cleanly into your computer was like hard to find. And the stuff that we did use was usually like something that was meant to digitize DVDs.
Yep.
So like the Dazzle did not start as like that you can capture your video games with this. Like
Mhm.
it was a DVD like digitizer. So you would just like record your DVDs.
Nice.
Um I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like stuff like that was how we did it. And now it's like there are just devices that are designed to capture your video games, or the consoles themselves just do it
Yeah.
for you.
Which is nice. Yeah, the PS5, Xbox, and you can go live on Twitch now with them, and easy peasy lemon squeezy. You don't have to
Yeah,
advertise.
Paul Monkey D. Luffy in the chat says, I remember having Easy Cap myself. That was also one that I had at one
Yeah.
point, and I think I still have one or two of them because they're actually still really fantastic for capturing. Well, I don't know if it's the Easy Cap, but it's something very similar to it that I bought
Yeah.
years later. And Colton says, I still have my Hauppauge HD PVR 2 in a box somewhere. Mine,
Yeah.
that was another one of those. It was like this big box, and it was like one of the only things that could capture HD video. Yeah, mine, I was using it right up until like 2015, I want to say. And then I plugged in the wrong cord and it started smoking.
Oh no.
The thing started
Whoops.
like catching fire.
Oh no. Now, you've also done besides your main channel, you had your Versus channel for a while. Now, was that something that just You're like, let's try this and see how it goes, or was it kind of like, let's have some fun. I want to try something different.
Um, so it was kind of a thing where both me and Tyler attacking toucans sort of came up with a similar idea separately, and he came to me with the idea of verses, and I was like, cool, let me add to this, and so it was very natural in that way. And at first there was a point where I was like, I don't really want to do this. Like, I don't know if I have the time for this, or but I was worried that he would go and like pick someone else to do it. And I was like, no, I got to do this though. Like, I should be doing this. So I told him, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Fine, let's do it.
Yeah, and you guys play well off each other as you're, racing
Yeah,
through the game. It works out really
yeah,
well. Yeah, you've
yeah.
done
It
so good.
well, no, I was gonna say, yeah, it was. Yeah, like you said, it was. We were very good at playing off of each other, and I thought we were very funny together for a long time.
Hmm. Now you've also done some races against Hal Diamond. I remember watching your the Tasmanian Tiger race.
Yeah,
Which,
Hal is a good bean. I like that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, I
Yeah,
enjoyed that one a lot.
me and Hal go way back.
Yeah, yeah, I actually had never really heard of him until that point. But that's because I was kind of stuck in my Chugga Conroy, JoshJepson, Nintendo Capri Sun, that group, at that point.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
started dispersing out and finding HC Bailey's and stuff like that at the same time. So, but did you did you ever think, like, in the beginning, like when you started making your YouTube, that this would be kind of a career for you?
No, absolutely not. I still don't think it is. I still don't think it is. I don't know. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I count myself very lucky that
Mhm.
I fell into it and that I was good at it and continued to be able to do it. So I count myself very lucky. But no, I never would have considered it to become my career.
Mhm.
And it still feels weird to say that.
Yeah, I mean, you've only been doing it for so many years now. I mean, at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, what, 2010
Yeah,
ish,
which is
2009,
nuts.
2010. So, yeah, 15 years.
Yeah, which is nuts. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but man, it's so fast.
It goes quick, goes
Yeah.
quick.
Now, you've done also stuff with TRG. Was that kind of like all of a sudden they just asked you to come on, or were you kind of met up at like PAX East and they're like, hey, are you interested in doing something with us? Or
There was this point where there's a thing going on with like YouTube had like a really broken flagging system and they would like
shocking.
flag channels and they would get taken down. So there was like this series of events where like for some reason Let's Play channels were being taken down one by one and we were all very worried about it. And as a result that sort of caused a lot of people to connect with each other. Sorry, my thing is bugging out a little bit.
You're good.
Um it sort of caused us to connect uh a little bit more and sort of talk about it, to see if there was any way we could help each other. And I would just happen to go along for the ride. I ended up in a Skype call with Nintendo Capri Sun and Chugga Conroy, and they were talking about a collab channel, and I was like, cool, let me know if you do it. And then they did.
RIP Skype. It just died this
Yeah,
past
right.
week.
Yeah, Skype just died this past week.
Sad. That's that was my channel. I was on Skype forever. I didn't move to Zoom or Discord or any of that stuff for a while, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess Skype's dying now, and everybody's going to Discord, so I guess I go Discord now if I want to chat with friends or people I know. Ah,
Yeah,
I guess I'm stuck.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's wild that that's gone.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of memories
Hmm.
made there. Like some of the earlier friend chats.
Yep.
I say earlier. I mean, there was stuff before even Skype.
Oh yeah.
Like I spent a lot of my time just on like Xbox Live microphone talking to
Yep.
people, even long before I knew what Skype was.
Man,
But yeah,
that's
it's dead. It's gone.
yeah.
Rest in peace, Skype.
Who would have thought that TikTok would last longer in the United States than Skype did?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in 2025.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, what made you? Because I know you're, still doing stuff on YouTube, not as often as probably you do with Twitch. But what made you decide to kind of switch to Twitch?
Um, Honestly, at the time there was a huge problem with uh, ads on YouTube. Like they called it the ad apocalypse. I don't know exactly how it all started, but basically there was a lot of advertising being pulled out of YouTube. There was this weird thing where YouTube was letting anyone monetize their videos. You didn't have to go through their partner program, so it was splitting off a lot of the ad revenue between a lot more people, and
Yeah,
so everybody's ad revenue went down. So I was like kind of worried, 2015 ish era, um, about that. And so I was like trying to throughout 2015 get into live streaming on Twitch, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. I like I said at the beginning of this, I was like, I don't really mess with live streams. There was a time there where I kind of hated doing it,
yeah,
um, until it clicked, and that was in 2016. There was just a lot of things in my life that I was like, I need, you know, money to make a lot of this stuff happen. How do we do that? How do we go on and adapt what I'm already doing to um, be a little bit better for that? I mean, and it's a different creative outlet too. It's a different kind of creativity that goes into making a live show.
yeah.
And that came with its own challenges, and challenges can be fun. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it, and it did help, put a little bit more money in the bank and make things happen in life when stuff was getting harder. So I'm very grateful for all of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of. I remember watching. Everybody's like worried because it was like, what do we do now? Because like YouTube's been the big money maker, and then all of a sudden YouTube went, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna split up for everything and see what happens. And that's when people start going, what's going on?
Yeah, it was hard, and it never really recovered. You like YouTube ad revenue is not the main source of income. I think for even some of the
No.
biggest YouTubers, a lot of that stuff comes from sponsors or like a Patreon, or things like that. Ad revenue has tanked so much on YouTube over the years. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it's exactly a result of, probably because there's just a lot of advertising opportunity out there now that ad money gets spread very thin. So I don't know.
And it feels like Let's Playing also kind of got really watered down after a while because there's so many people doing it all of a sudden out of
But
nowhere.
yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah,
this new Let's Player just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. There was a lot of that too. And I think just the concept of let's plays in general has dwindled a lot over the years. There's still a handful of people that do them, and they do them in ways that work for their niche audience.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I don't really do them in the same traditional way anymore. I do a lot of just stuff from like highlights for my streams or whatever. If I do make a video, which is not as often as I would like, but um, yeah, I'd like to do more.
Hmm.
Were there time and energy?
Yeah, we're getting older. We're, old men now. Don't have that energy
Yeah,
anymore.
tell me about it.
Now, because I know a lot of now Let's Players are kind of going out and getting clothing items or, have their own shirts and clothing like that. Do you have anything like that on the side that you are making money off of now? Or did you kind of not go
Well,
that route?
I mean I do I sell merch, cool merch designs and many of them I've designed or I've gotten a close artist friend to make. So I love doing that over on tantrummerch.com. But beyond that, I mean nothing. No business ventures beyond merch.
Yeah.
Not at this time. Perhaps one day.
Was it easy getting into merch or was it kind of like difficult trying to find everything, you learn everything about it and
Um, yeah, I mean it was pretty easy. I got in touch with Tantrum because I ended up at a few charity events that they were doing merch for. One of them was TRG Coliseum,
Yeah.
and they were doing a lot of merch for other Coliseum events too. So I just got to hang out with the people that run Tantrum a bunch, and they just sounded really cool, and they could do a lot of fun things that other merch companies couldn't do. There was a lot of freedom with it, so it felt really good to get in with them and make some cool merch items.
Yeah, Monkey D. Luffy Co. definitely likes one of your shirts. So
Yeah, that is my favorite one. That is
now,
my favorite one.
did you Is there any like? Because I mean, I know you've done a lot of collabs now. Is there anybody that you still haven't collabed with that you're like, I'd love to do a collab with this person?
Um, yeah, Jack Black, come play Minecraft with me.
Ooh,
I'll play
that'd be fun.
Minecraft.
Did you see the new movie?
No, I did not. I did not see it, but
Oh,
I've seen so many clips of it that I feel like I've seen it.
it was actually not bad. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looks goofy. It looks goofy.
Yeah, all of a sudden it felt like Nintendo or video game movies are actually getting good, which is
Yeah,
weird
right.
to say.
Yeah, there's been a lot of high quality ones lately.
Yeah.
Mario and Sonic, and
Yep.
yeah, Borderlands.
Yeah. Which they were just trying to make money off the names at that point. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis was cool to see in video game movies, but
Yeah, I heard the Border. I didn't see it, but I heard the Borderlands movie was not good, and it sounded like it went through film hell.
hmm yeah, it felt like they didn't that Borderlands was kind of like one of those movies that kind of threw together. Because like, why? It was like, all right, cool, The Rock. All right, that's cool with that. Jack Black, fine. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
like Kevin Hart, I'm like, what? Why? Like guys like 6 feet tall in the game. All of a sudden, we're gonna have him go be a 5 foot guy in the movie. Okay, excuse me. That makes sense. I mean, I guess it's not as bad as Doom though, or Resident Evil movies that came out.
Oh yeah. Well, the big problem is that they take the source material and they just butcher it,
Yeah.
which is a huge problem with a lot of adaptations. Whereas something like the Minecraft movie really just kind of leaned into a lot of its weird quirks.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to do a video game movie. You lean into the game's weird quirks. Stop trying to make it like a movie and make it like a game.
Exactly.
A watchable game.
Yep. Or you just make money off of whatever the actor's doing at that point, aka Deadpool and
Well.
Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's real. That's real.
Who can we get to play Detective Pikachu that's really famous right now and is doing a lot of different movies? Ryan Reynolds, let's get him. See what happens. But
yeah, they do a lot of that too. Get the famous actor. Spend a bunch of money on a famous actor.
Yep.
Make a bunch of money because it's a property that people recognize.
Mm-hmm.
It's a winning formula.
Yeah, it works out. Except for
it's no wonder they keep doing it.
And unless it's the Super Mario movie from back in like the 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. Who can we get that's big now? Oh. But if there was a video game movie that comes out next, what video game would you like to see made into a movie?
Oh well, I mean, the Zelda movie's coming.
Mm-hmm.
We know that much. Not for a while, but so that would be an answer. I was talking about, and I don't think this will ever happen, but I was talking about this on my stream the other day. An animated Banjo-Kazooie movie would be very cool. I brought it up on my stream. I was saying that I have this vivid memory of a Banjo-Kazooie cartoon from when I was a kid that just never existed. But I have this very vivid memory of this thing existing. And it turned out when Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was coming out, there was actually an animated series in the work for Cartoon Network that got canceled before it even got off the ground. So I thought that was pretty cool, and they should do that. They should make a Banjo-Kazooie cartoon for me to watch.
They could definitely do a cool like Banjo-Kazooie movie. I mean, even they could do like a prequel of how Banjo and Kazooie met. And stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. So I would love to see something like that. That'd be awesome. A Metroid movie done as good as the Star Wars movie would go so hard. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Even like
That would
a
be
Metroid horror movie would be cool too. Like if they did
yeah,
kind of
like a
Metroid
sci-fi
Prime.
horror.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
like give it like a aliens vibe or
Hmm.
something.
Exactly. Yep. You're just kind of get a little couple first person shots of it, and
Which
see.
Metroid is inspired by the Alien movies to begin
Yeah.
with, so that'd be kind of cool to like have that come back
Yeah.
around. Oh yeah, the SAX based on
Yeah.
Fusion. Fusion has some horrifying like
Mm.
visuals in it.
Yeah.
Like Nightmare.
Yep. Oh man, that was such a weird boss for. I'm like, why are we fighting? Then all of a sudden you shoot off his face and it's like crying. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is this is nuts. But
yeah. So that would make a great basis for it. Metroid
mhm.
Fusion.
Yeah, I always wanted a BioShock movie. I think a BioShock movie or TV show
Hmm.
could do
Yeah,
real
that's a
well.
good one. I think there were talks about one at some point,
Yeah.
but sometimes those things fall through, especially like years ago.
Yeah.
A movie like that would have fallen through. But
Oh man.
yeah, yeah, that
So
would make a good one.
yeah, and then apparently there was supposed to be a God of War movie with The Rock in it or Batista, one of the two, and then that got
Oh,
canned too,
yeah,
apparently. But we'll see. I mean, God of War would be kind of cool, but see what happens, I guess.
yeah.
Now, now, what's like your go-to type of movie? Since we're talking about movies, like, is there a specific genre you like, or
Dumb comedy movies
mm,
like um. I was talking about Jack Black earlier.
yeah,
The Tenacious D movie is always
oh
fun.
yeah,
Um, Groundhog Day is a good movie. Is one of my favorites.
ooh,
Um, I don't know, just dumb comedy movies.
yeah,
I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't
hmm
watch a lot of movies, but if I do, I want to laugh.
yeah, yep,
um,
The Hangover.
so yeah, yeah, The Hangover.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah, or just like any action movie.
hmm
It doesn't like a very heavy plot movie. I don't necessarily need.
yeah.
Um, unless it's like a big cool fantasy world like Lord of the Rings or something. Um, so yeah, just something with a lot of action and makes me laugh.
Did you get into the Marvel movies when they was coming out, or did you kind of miss most of those?
I did. I was in it for a while.
Mm,
I was like kind of half in it, half not. And I'd watch the major movies like the major Avenger movies and like whatever, the first couple of Iron Man movies.
yeah.
And then there came a point where I went back and watched like everything up to like the end of
Oh
Avengers
yeah.
Endgame, um, and then some because like Loki was happening at the time, like the first season of Loki was coming out, and I was like, all right, I'll just watch the whole damn thing back to back. And I spent months doing that. And then after that, I watched the first season of Loki, and then after that, I was gone. I was out. And they just kept releasing stuff, and I kept not watching it. So
Yeah.
everything after that point, I have nothing.
Oh,
I know nothing about it.
say you haven't seen the new Deadpool yet?
I've not. No, I haven't seen
Oh,
the new Deadpool.
you.
No, and that would
I
be the one I would watch.
yeah. The new one is perfect. I mean, I love the new one just because I won't spoil it for anybody that's not seen it, but it's definitely my favorite of the three Deadpool movies. Which Deadpool one's so good, but the third one was, incredible. But
Yeah, yeah. No, the first two were really good. I remember
mm,
really enjoying them. So
yeah.
I'm starting to lose my voice, and I need
If
my water is gone.
you need to take a break for a second, I got maybe
I can
10
go.
minutes.
Can I
Yeah,
fill my?
yeah, yeah. I can make it edit. See, this is when I make an announcement to Mountain Dew. See, he got thirsty because he drank all his water. Mountain Dew is still making me not thirsty. Hydrated. That's the word I was looking for. Avengers. How's our
Hello.
roast? Apparently, Monkey's roasting the UK right now. He's like, no.
Oh, sorry, bud. It's actually pretty good here. It rained today.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm down here in Florida. It's not. I mean, it was like 80 degrees today, but 70 degrees yesterday, and wasn't too bad. But it rained all
Not
day.
too bad for Florida.
No.
If the humidity level stays down, that's your big problem.
Yep. And I made sure I did my little shout out to Mountain Dew while you were gone because I said it. He had to go get water because he was still thirsty. I said Mountain Dew quenches my thirst.
Practice those sponsorships, bud.
Yep.
Practice those sponsorships.
Practice. Yeah. But now, before we get deeper, is what is like your future holding for you?
In terms of content,
Yeah.
ooh. I want to do a lot more, like artsy stuff and creativity. I want to do a lot more drawings. I've been starting to do that a little bit. But also I've been interested in getting into like 3D modeling and game design and stuff, which I know is going to take me a lot of. It's going to take me a lot of years and require a lot of varying skill sets. So I'm sort of working my way slowly towards a goal of making video games, which I have done before when I was a kid. And I mean like 13, 14, I used an old version of Game Maker to make some early games. And they were bad, but I was a teenager. And I think I've been chasing that excitement ever since, and nothing has quite given it to me. So it's time to like learn how to make a game in the year of our Lord 2025, which is a lot more complicated than it's ever been. So
Yeah. I mean, you can always make it like Final Fantasy X, where it was just hallways everywhere.
no, I want to make a good game.
Yeah, I was
Burn.
blown. Yeah, right. Blown away. And
I've never actually played that game. I've watched somebody play it, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's not for me. I think most Final Fantasy games are not for me.
Yeah,
there's some there's some okay ones though.
Yeah, it was my second RPG of all time, so I was
kind of
wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played which my favorite, and I ask for this every stream and podcast. It's never gonna happen, but I can live a hope is for a Legend Dragoon remake. I want one so bad.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good.
Just give me one, Sony. You have so much you could play with. You could make a prequel, you could make a sequel, you could make DLC for it, you'd be all set. Nope. Sony doesn't want to make money.
No, apparently not.
Nope. Now, since you are doing YouTube and Twitch, what are some like ideas, thoughts, stuff that you can give, advice you can give to people that want to start doing YouTube/Twitch or doing content creation?
Prioritize the fun of it. I know that's like probably it's kind of maybe a boring answer. Prioritize the fun of it. Prioritize making something that you enjoy the process of making, and then also enjoy the final result of. Because if you're not happy with what you're working on, you're gonna even if it's maybe it becomes a mild success, but you're not having fun with it, you're eventually going to break and not want to do those things anymore and kind of hate yourself. So focus on the fun. It's not gonna happen overnight. General advice. It may not happen at all. Nobody likes to talk about that, but it might not happen at all. If you're looking for numbers. So the only thing you can for sure do is make sure you have fun doing it. That's the only thing you can guarantee. So get out there and do something, make something creative.
Yeah, there you go. Now, when you choose your projects, because I know you chose some of them, what did you look for in your projects?
Like what specifically? Like a let's play or just anything that I'm working on?
Twitch or anything that you're working on?
I don't know. I like to make stuff where I get to talk about my favorite games and where I get to talk about my experiences with those games. And so any game that really or project that brings me closer to being able to do that. I don't know. I mean, it depends too. It's different things for different reasons. Like doing verses, I had a different reason for doing that. Um, the spirit of a comedy duo and like a, you know, it, a high, what am I trying to say? Like a speedrunner-esque environment.
Mhm.
Um, it just, I don't know. I think it's different depending on the project. I think I'm always looking for something a little different every time.
Yeah, makes total sense. Now, if you do have any questions in chat, go ahead and place them. We'll probably get to at least a lot of them, which right now it looks like I see one, maybe two. Um, Now, before we get to those questions, I have one more question for you. Is there any of your LPs that you were like, I'd like to redo just because you learned something in the past that you want to do now that you're like, I could make that better, or and just the way it looks would be a lot better now than it was back then?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything I would want to redo at this point.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. I would even then, like, I don't think I would even look at it like that. I don't think I would even look at it like that. If I did like another Banjo Kazooie Let's
Hmm.
Play or whatever, um, it would just be here's my fresh playthrough of it. Like it wouldn't necessarily be with the vibe of trying to remake something old.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching your nuts and bolts little playthroughs you kind of did where it was, let's see what car in a car I can build and see where it does.
Yeah, yeah,
And I,
those are fun.
yeah.
Like I would like to do more Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts stuff if people would watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun game to play.
It's crazy because, like, at first, playing a little bit of Tui I played and, played most of Banjo Kazooie, and it's like going to nuts and bolts. It's like this, the first time it was like, this isn't what I grew up on. This is not Banjo Kazooie. And then it's like, after you get playing it for a while, then, come back to it and you're like, it's actually not that bad of a game. It's just kind of, wasn't what I was looking for at that point. And now
Yeah,
it's
and
still
with the
fun.
remake,
Mhm.
um, it's an opportunity for them to give it its own identity.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they tried Rare kind of tried to save that with also coming out with the ukulele games. They're like, let's try and
Oh
see,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
like this is kind of I know we kind of what you wanted for Banjo, 3, but here we'll have this for you instead. And now, the second one was kind of more based on Donkey Kong Country than it was, Banjo
right.
Kazooie. But
And that one did give it a little bit more of its own identity
yeah,
as
definitely.
well.
I do have, let's see, I see one question right now, right on top. From Introspective 90, do you have a favorite project you've done?
Oh, I always look fondly back on something really weird like Limbo. When I played through Limbo, I did my Limbo Let's Play. Because I didn't it was one of those weird times where I accidentally played a game that was viral at the time. Like
Mm,
normally I didn't really follow trends or anything like that. I didn't like think about that very often.
right.
But I just was like really interested in playing Limbo, and I accidentally stumbled upon it at a time when there was a lot of videos going viral, like where I have people playing that game.
Yeah.
And so that ended up being like a really early success for me, especially something that solo. I didn't have a partner there to bounce off of, and so
Mhm.
that was like one of my earlier successes that that yeah, and I really enjoyed that game too.
So you kind of
That's
just
probably a
decide,
favorite.
you just kind of decide to go underneath a pole real quick, and limbo. You can, sorry, I watched too much Chugga Conroy lately.
How low can I go?
Monkey D. Luffy, wow, Luffy Co. Sorry, I had just murdered your name. If there were a video game you would like to visit and potentially live in, not including Banjo, where would you live and why?
I Uh, so it's either Pokemon because Pokemon is always like a great answer for that because it's such like they got free healthcare. um, but I'm actually gonna say like the world of Wind Waker. Just like sailing the islands. Kind of like just like I like that vibe a lot. And also, it doesn't help that I've been watching this guy on TikTok who is right now he's sailing from Oregon to Hawaii. And it's going to take him like 27 days. He's like halfway through it, and he's just like documenting his journey of sailing. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to sail. So yeah, I would pick the world of the Wind Waker and just sail my life away.
That'd be kind of cool. That'd be real nice. Yeah, I don't think I could ever. They're in like sail that long. I'd be like, all right, I'm bored. It's day one.
I don't think I could do it in practicality. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think if I got there, I'd be like, why did I do this? But I'm like in love with the idea of it.
Yeah. Be like, all right, I'm gonna sail from Florida to Bahamas, and that's about it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else have questions in chat? I can't.
Whoops.
Oh, what would be the good points? I don't know if that's supposed to be another question.
Yeah, which I did kind of say.
Yeah.
The good points would be a chill, relaxing atmosphere, seagulls.
Yeah, seagulls.
Who is it?
Yeah, I was like, sounds good. Are you ever gonna do another versus with anybody in the future?
I don't know. My instincts say no, probably not. But
Okay.
I'm not. I wouldn't rule it out 100% ever.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, I did that, and I'll go on and work on other things. Yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, look at good old seagulls. Everybody loves a seagull. What's your favorite bird?
The chickadee.
Oh, really?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's the main state bird.
Oh yeah. I was a Blue Jay guy. I don't know why. I guess because it's
They're
just a cool
cool.
looking bird.
Blue jays are cool.
It was a cool looking bird. I mean, no, but I do. If anybody else has a question, feel free because I'm kind of just throwing questions out there that don't make sense now. Now, I guess one more question: would you ever end up doing a podcast with like other LPers if you decided, screw it, I'm gonna open a new avenue?
I've thought about doing podcasts before, and actually, I did do a brief stint with podcasting in 2020, which ended up kind of falling apart. Just like there was health issues at the end of that year, and like it just sort of didn't continue on after that for very long. And I liked it. I would do it. I would do it. If I had time, I would dip into it again probably.
I remember you were doing Jepson vlog for a little bit there too.
Yeah. Vlogs are a little. I don't know. I want to do that kind of thing, but I want to do it in a way that is unique to me, and it's hard to do that with something like a vlog because it's very like there's not a lot to it, and a lot of people do that kind of thing, and I would like to do it in my own way, and that's difficult to come up with. But I mean, I have some ideas. There's some things happening.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I really watched all their vlogs was Steven George, but I mean, he did them, daily for so many years, and give him props for that. But I
Long
could never
time.
do it. Yeah,
It's a long time.
it's insane. But I want to thank you for being on this episode of my podcast. Second episode you've been on.
Yeah, thank you again for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if you do want to follow Josh Jepson, where can they find you?
Yeah, it's at JoshJepson on YouTube and on Twitch and Blue Sky. I got my live stream on the Twitch. I got my stream highlights on YouTube. I've also got a sort of a new-ish channel coming up. It's where I used to do my vlogs. We were just talking about that. I call it Jepson Juice is the name of the channel now. So if you go to Jepson Juice on YouTube, things are going to start happening there. as time goes on. But there's not a whole lot going on right now. But it's something that I'm going to be working on. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just YouTube and Twitch, and I do streams 5 nights a week.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then that would actually be a great name for your own like juice flavored line.
I should start one. I should start one to go along with the new channel.
It's just perfectly named. 2 J's. You have a cool logo you can make with it. Be all set.
Yep.
Be like, man. Start with like you could have like a Jepson. I couldn't think of anything clever on that. Jepson juice of flavors. I don't know. I was trying to think of a fruit or a vegetable. I start with a J, and I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
Jepson's. All I could come up with was dragon fruit, which does not start with a J, but the sound is there almost.
Oh,
Jepson's dragon fruit.
Yeah, orange Jepson.
Orange Jepson, like Orange Julius. Yeah. I'm gonna open my own Orange Julius and just call it Orange Jepson.
Ooh, there you go, Jepson tangerine juice.
Yeah, if you want to butcher the spelling of tangerine. Yeah.
That's funny. Well,
oh my god.
Thank you all for watching this episode. Thank you, Josh, for being on here, and I will see you all.
Thank you, Josh, for having me.
Yeah, Josh and Josh. I will see you all in the next episode, which will be actually tomorrow when I interview Second Cat, who's another Let's Player that's been around forever. So, thank you all for watching. I think it's a great way to end this, but I still have an ending yet.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Right. Thank you all for watching.